Hello, viewers. This is what you don't know about your current salary as a woman in today's corporate society. As today is International Women's Day, we decided to delve into a very interesting topic, which is the gender pay gap. My name remains Christopher, and I'm glad to be born by an amazing woman. And today I have here with me yet another woman.
Thank you, Chris. I still remain your girl, Jennifer. Happy Women's Day to all the ladies out there.
So, um, if you go to the internationalwomensday.com website, it actually reads that imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can all inspire inclusion.
Correct, Chris. Inspire Inclusion is this year's International Women's Day theme. We are urging industry leaders to make deliberate attempts to involve women in the decision-making process, and also parents and guardians to invest adequately in educating their female children. That is why I like the United Nations angle to this, advocating that the government invest in women to accelerate progress. Progress.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move to our topic today.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic.
Gender.
Gender pay gap.
So, what's it all about?
Gender pay gap is a belief that men earn more than women. Chris, earn more than women
True.
for the same job role, in the same industry, and possibly in the same organization. Unbelievable. It's a belief that for every dollar a man earns, a woman earns 77 cents only. For doing the same job, I need to reiterate it again. For doing the same job in the same industry and possibly in the same organization. In relatable terms, it means that for every 1,600 naira a man earns, a woman earns only about 1,200 naira. I wonder how they come about these statistics. It's laughable if you ask me. I don't believe this exists in this today's world.
This is by advanced societies, developed societies.
Well, much more interesting bringing it down home in Nigeria. According to the article from Plus One Journal, a California-based
Yeah.
journal, of course, it's mentioned that it's actually a statistical journal. It's believed that the gap is actually much more higher. We have a whopping 77% gap, which means a woman earns 77% less than what a man earns in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Yeah. In Nigeria. So I know Jennifer has her reservations about this, but the fact that it's true, it's true. I'll say it's true because, first of all, you ask yourself two questions. Number one is, why would advanced societies like the US, the European Union, be talking seriously about this? It's a concept I actually found out about 3 years ago, and I for my own self, I did a bit of research on it and I actually found out that it's true what they are saying. Yeah, because now imagine even the European Union, they have something in their history as far back as 1957. They brought out something they call an Equal Pay for Equal Work Act. I mean, if it's not a serious concern, why would they be going as far as bringing out such acts? So I'll prove it to you, Jennifer, today that
Well,
gender pay gap is actually.
while I believe that it's a thing, I just feel that it's something that have been there maybe before, but not in today's world. Because with all the enlightenment we have, with all the empowering program we have for women, I don't believe that in today's world we will still have such gap existing. Like I mentioned, 77% in Nigeria. I find it very hard to believe. I believe that maybe these statistics are taken, a long time ago. Because let me understand, how does it even happen? How does this gender pay gap happen?
I'll be explaining to you.
You mean, just hold up. You mean two people go for job interview, a man and a woman, and then they get the job because they both, met the criteria during the interview. They
Both
qualified for the
qualified.
job. And then the man is offered a much more higher salary than the woman simply because he's a man. I mean, that's laughable.
Okay.
Don't they have women in the hiring process?
Well, that's possible.
I mean, I think that an organization should have a payment system that is automated and pays people
But
according
you also agree
to
with
the role.
salaries are negotiated. Despite salary structure, salaries can still be negotiated.
The structure should, and the structure is there in the first place to avoid such gap. If I'm a woman and I come for the same role as a man, and then we have a payment structure, I shouldn't bother my head about negotiating to meet up with the man because I believe that the payment structure should make it an equal pay
Jennifer,
for
let
everybody.
me explain to you how it happens. Of course, one key way that it happens, or one major way it happens, in as much as, like you rightly pointed out, I don't think it's something really still rampant, because most companies have salary structures now. Okay, but it still exists slightly in that, in that manner. However, let me explain to you another very easy way this happens. So I'll just pen this analogy. Say you have a man and a woman. They both applied for a job. Okay. Yeah. And then in this job, they have what we call quarterly incentive. So every 3 months, they get to pay them an incentive. So let's look at it from a fiscal year perspective, say from January to December. Okay. What that means is that if for every 3 months, these two guys, the man and the woman, they're supposed to earn an incentive of 100,000 every 3 months. What it means is that at the end of the year, they have an extra income of about 400,000, right? Okay, let's look at the situation where the woman takes in, let's say, you just got the job and got home and, becomes pregnant for the husband. What this means is that by October, that woman should be proceeding on her maternity leave, right? So what this means is that, let's assume first quarter, they both earn 100,000. Second quarter, same thing. Third quarter, same thing. But in the fourth quarter, when the woman is already at home for her maternity leave, what happens? She earns no 100,000. Meanwhile, the man is going to earn 100,000. So you can see there's already a gap there. So this is one way gender pay gap can happen.
Come off it, Chris. Come off it, Chris. Incentive is performance based.
Oh, come on.
Incentive is performance based.
Come on.
What you're trying to say, it's not everybody that earns incentive. Even two men working in the same role might end up not earning incentive in that quarter because the person did not meet up with the criteria.
But don't forget, that woman has just been denied the opportunity to earn that incentive. Because she's on maternity leave.
But a woman that is on maternity leave receives their full salary already. The organization is going to pay them incentive for doing nothing. Is that what you're asking? I don't think it's fair. No. Incentive is performance based. You are paid a bonus because of what you were able to achieve, additional to your salary. Jenny, I don't think that additional bonus should add up to the gap you're talking about.
Let me put it like this. Now, if, just like you said, it's a law or it's a fact that women earn their salaries even when they are on maternity leave, why can we not adjust the law such that they also earn their incentives during maternity leave?
How? They were doing practically nothing.
Laws are meant for.
They were not generating revenue for the company at that point. How? How do you expect a company to pay them incentive on top of paying them salary for doing no work?
My argument is this, right? Childbearing is a physiological process. It's a normal physiological process. If women don't give birth to children, how are we going to have young people in the society whom we know are still the drivers of the economy, the young ones? So I think women should actually be considered for this. Okay. You know what? Let me give you another example.